Commander Xyrax of the Centaurian Exploration Fleet stood motionless on the bridge of his flagship, the Stellar Seeker, his crystalline eyes fixed on the holographic display before him. The remote mining system they discovered in the Epsilon sector wasn't supposed to be anything special, just another primitive human operation on the fringes of explored space. Yet something about it had made his chief engineer, Nixus, demand an immediate investigation. "Commander, you need to see these readings," Nixus chittered, her auxiliary appendages twitching with barely contained excitement. "The humans are using what appears to be quantum-phase drilling technology, but it's different." The mining operation consisted of 3 vessels, the HSS Groundbreaker, a massive mining ship that resembled an Earth beetle with its rounded carapace and multiple extending arms, and 2 smaller support craft. What had initially appeared to be simple mechanical drills were actually producing microsingularities, using them to break down asteroid material at the atomic level. "Impossible," muttered Science Officer Vina, her bioluminescent patches pulsing with confusion. "Their civilization has barely achieved interstellar travel. They shouldn't have this level of technological sophistication." The Stellar Seeker's crew watched in fascination as the Groundbreaker approached a titanium-rich asteroid. Instead of the crude blast mining they'd expected, the ship deployed what looked like ordinary industrial drills. But their sensors told a different story. Each drill tip contained a contained quantum field generator, creating precision-controlled microsingularities that broke down the asteroid's material structure without waste or debris. "The efficiency ratings are off our charts," Nixus reported, her voice trembling with professional admiration. "They're extracting 98% of useful materials. Our best mining systems barely achieve 80%. Commander Xyrax felt his crystalline spines bristle. The humans had been in space for less than 2 centuries, yet they developed mining technology that surpassed systems the Centaurians had been refining for millennia. But how? The answer came as they observed the operation's next phase. The extracted materials weren't simply being stored, they were being processed in real time through what appeared to be a series of magnetic containment fields. The raw ore was being refined, separated, and even fabricated into basic components before it ever reached the storage holds. "Their approach is elegant in its simplicity," Vina observed. "While we focused on developing ever more powerful energy beams for extraction, they adapted their understanding of gravity itself. It's minimal energy usage for maximum effect." The revelation struck Xyrax like a solar flare. The humans hadn't developed this technology because they were more advanced, they developed it because they had to. Their homeworld's higher gravity meant they needed to find energy-efficient solutions. They couldn't afford the power-hungry approaches favored by other spacefaring races. As they continued their observation, they witnessed something even more remarkable. The Groundbreaker support ships weren't just hauling cargo, they were mobile manufacturing platforms. Raw materials went in one end, and finished components came out the other, all while the operation was still in progress. "It's a complete industrial ecosystem," Nixus breathed. "Mining, refining, and manufacturing all in one mobile unit. The efficiency, the practicality. The implications were staggering. While other races built massive, specialized facilities for each phase of resource extraction and processing, humans had created versatile, all-in-one systems that could operate anywhere. It wasn't just a mining operation, it was a self-contained industrial colony that could replicate itself using the very materials it extracted. Commander Xyrax made a decision. "Maintain our cloak, but move us closer. I want detailed scans of every aspect of their operation. The Council needs to know about this." As the Stellar Seeker crept nearer to the human mining operation, Xyrax couldn't shake the feeling that they were witnessing something unprecedented in galactic history. The humans hadn't just created tools, they developed a whole new philosophy of technology, one that emphasized adaptability and efficiency over raw power. "Sir," Vina called out, her voice tight with tension. "I'm detecting something unusual in their command protocols. The mining systems, They appear to have combat subroutines buried in their base code. Zyrax's spines rippled with sudden unease. Combat subroutines? In mining equipment? Yes, sir. Very sophisticated ones. It's as if. As if what, science officer? As if they designed their mining tools to double as weapons, sir. From what I can interpret, those quantum field generators could be reconfigured for offensive purposes with just a few command changes. The bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. They hadn't just stumbled upon an advanced mining operation, they discovered a cleverly disguised military installation. The humans had created dual-purpose technology that could switch from peaceful industry to defensive warfare in moments. The commander's crystalline eyes narrowed as he watched the groundbreaker continue its methodical work. What other surprises had these supposedly primitive humans hidden in their seemingly simple tools? He had a feeling they were about to find out, whether they wanted to or not. The silent observation of the human mining operation came to an abrupt end when the HSS groundbreaker sensors suddenly pulsed with active scanning energy. Commander Zyrax felt his crystalline form vibrate with alarm. Their cloaking technology had never failed before. Impossible, Lieutenant Karn muttered from his tactical station. They shouldn't be able to detect us through. Incoming transmission, Vina announced, her bioluminescence flickering rapidly. They're broadcasting on all frequencies. A calm human voice filled the bridge. Unidentified vessel, your gravimetric distortion is affecting our mining operations. Please either withdraw to a safe distance or decloak and state your intentions. You have 5 minutes to comply. Zyrax exchanged glances with his bridge crew. The humans hadn't just detected them, they'd been aware of their presence all along, merely tolerating the observation until it interfered with their work. They detected us through gravity variations? Nixus asked incredulously. Their sensors are that sensitive? Of course they are, Vina replied, her scientific interest overtaking her concern. They're using gravity manipulation for mining. They'd have to be able to detect the slightest gravitational anomalies to prevent accidents. Before Zyrax could decide how to respond, the mining operation underwent a startling transformation. The two support ships smoothly detached their manufacturing modules, which quickly reconfigured into defensive platforms. The groundbreaker's drilling arms retracted, and what had appeared to be simple stabilizing struts extended into what were unmistakably weapon mounts. By the first light, Lieutenant Karn breathed. The entire operation is a combat unit in disguise. Not in disguise, Commander Zyrax corrected, his tactical training helping him understand what they were seeing. It's genuinely a mining operation. They've simply designed it to be adaptable. They watched as the quantum field generators, previously used for precision mining, realigned themselves. Instead of creating controlled microsingularities for extracting ore, they now formed a complex defensive grid around the human ships. Sir, Nixus reported, her appendages dancing across her console, those fields could tear our hull apart if we try to approach. The humans have essentially created a minefield out of thin air. The human voice returned, still remarkably calm, 3 minutes remaining. We should mention that the gravimetric distortions from your cloaking device are becoming increasingly disruptive to our containment fields. We cannot guarantee your safety if you remain in your current position. Zyrax recognized the subtle threat beneath the warning. The humans were telling them that their own technology could be used against them. It was elegant in its simplicity, no direct aggression, just a practical statement of fact. What are your orders, Commander? Karn asked, his tactical displays showing multiple targeting solutions. Before Zyrax could respond, Vina's console erupted with new data. Sir. They're using our own cloaking field as a containment vessel. They've created a resonance effect between their quantum fields and our cloaking technology. If we try to move or drop our cloak suddenly, the energy backwash would cripple our systems, Nixus finished, her professional admiration evident despite the situation. "They've trapped us using our own technology against us, and they did it without firing a shot." The human mining vessels maintained their positions, their transformed weapon systems humming with potential energy. The defensive platforms had established a perfect crossfire zone, using the gravitational anomalies from the nearby asteroids to create unpredictable firing solutions. 1 minute remaining, the human voice announced. "We're beginning emergency shutdown procedures for our mining operations. This will result in some gravitational instability in the local space. Your shield harmonics may need adjustment to compensate." Zyrax felt a new emotion he'd never experienced before, respect tinged with fear. The humans weren't just issuing threats, they were providing safety warnings to a potential enemy. Their practical approach to conflict was as efficient as their mining technology. "Open a channel," Zyrax commanded. "And drop the cloak. Carefully." As the Stellar Seeker's cloaking field dissipated, the quantum grid adjusted automatically, maintaining stability in the local space. The humans had already calculated how to prevent their own defensive measures from damaging either side. "This is Commander Zyrax of the Centaurian Exploration Fleet," he transmitted. "We apologize for our covert observation. We were curious about your mining techniques." There was a pause before the human responded, and Zyrax could have sworn he heard amusement in their voice. "Curiosity, we understand, Commander. Next time, just ask. We offer guided tours every third cycle. Our observation deck has excellent views of the quantum extraction process, and the cafeteria serves surprisingly good coffee." The tension on the bridge broke slightly, but Zyrax noticed that neither side had powered down their defensive systems. The humans had managed to defuse the situation while maintaining tactical readiness, another example of their practical efficiency. What had started as a simple observation mission had turned into a first-hand demonstration of why human technology was so deceptively sophisticated. It wasn't about raw power or advanced theoretical science, it was about practical applications and multiple-use designs. Every tool could become a weapon, every weapon could become a tool, and everything was designed with both efficiency and adaptability in mind. The real question now was, what other surprises did these resourceful humans have hidden in their seemingly primitive technology? The next few hours aboard the Stellar Seeker were tense but enlightening. The humans had invited a small delegation to tour their mining operation, an offer Commander Zyrax couldn't refuse, though he suspected it was as much about keeping an eye on them as it was about diplomacy. Operations Director Rain Torres, a tall human with weather-worn features and quick eyes, led them through the Groundbreaker's processing center. "The quantum extraction process is really quite straightforward," she explained, gesturing to a holographic display of the mining operation. "We simply encourage atomic bonds to relax in a controlled manner." Nixus, who hadn't stopped taking readings since they arrived, chittered in excitement. "But the energy requirements must be enormous." "Actually," Torres smiled, "that's where you're wrong. We're not forcing anything. We're just persuading the materials to cooperate. It's like picking a lock instead of breaking down the door." As they moved through the facility, Vina suddenly stopped, her bioluminescent patches flashing rapidly. Her handheld scanner was registering something unusual in the processed materials. "Director Torres," she said carefully, "these readings suggest you're extracting quantum crystalline matrix formations." The temperature in the room seemed to drop several degrees. QCM, as it was known throughout the galaxy, was the holy grail of computing technology. Natural formations were incredibly rare, and artificial creation had proven impossible despite centuries of effort by the most advanced civilizations. Torres's expression didn't change, but her posture shifted slightly. "We found the asteroid belt in this system to be particularly rich in useful materials." "Useful materials?" Zyrax couldn't keep the edge from his voice. "QCM isn't just useful. It's the most efficient quantum computing substrate known to exist. The Galactic Council has been searching for new sources for centuries. Has it? Torres replied mildly. We weren't aware of that. Our mining rights to this system were properly registered with the Council 3 standard years ago. All our paperwork is in order. Nixis was practically vibrating as she studied her readings. The efficiency of your extraction process, it's not just about mining common ores, is it? You developed it specifically for QCM extraction. Our processes are optimized for all types of materials, Torres answered diplomatically. We find it's best to be thorough. Zyrax's crystalline form bristled as understanding dawned. The humans hadn't just stumbled upon this technology, they'd developed it with purpose. They'd found the QCM deposits, realized their value, and rather than announcing their discovery, they'd quietly developed the perfect extraction method while disguising it as simple mining innovation. The Council will want to negotiate for this resource, Zyrax stated, trying to keep his tone neutral. Torres's smile remained pleasant but took on a steely quality. The Council is welcome to negotiate trade agreements for processed materials, just like any other potential customer. Our extraction techniques, however, remain proprietary. You don't understand, Vina interjected. QCM is too important to be controlled by a single species. The Council will insist on oversight, on sharing of technology. No, Torres interrupted, her voice firm but still cordial. I don't think you understand. We're not asking for permission. We're not seeking approval. We found these deposits, we developed the technology to extract them safely and efficiently, and we did it all within the bounds of galactic law. She gestured to a nearby window, where they could see the defensive platforms still maintaining their vigilant watch. We believe in being good neighbors and fair traders. But we also believe in being prepared for misunderstandings. The implied threat was clear, but what impressed Zyrax most was how the humans had orchestrated this entire situation. They'd known their discovery would eventually attract attention. Rather than trying to hide it, they'd developed their technology to serve multiple purposes, efficient enough to make the operation profitable even without the QCM, defensive enough to protect their claim, and legally compliant enough to withstand challenges. Director, Nixis asked, her scientific curiosity overtaking diplomatic concerns, these readings suggest you're achieving 99% extraction purity. How is that possible? Torres's expression softened slightly. Would you like to see our secondary processing facility? We found that combining quantum field manipulation with traditional chemical separation yields some interesting results. As they followed Torres deeper into the facility, Zyrax couldn't shake the feeling that they were being shown exactly what the humans wanted them to see, enough to demonstrate their capabilities but not enough to reveal their true technological level. The humans hadn't just discovered a valuable resource, they'd positioned themselves to become one of the most important technological powers in the galaxy. And they'd done it all while making it look like they were simply running a better mining operation. The real question was, what would the Council do when they learned the truth? And more importantly, were the humans as prepared for the coming storm as they appeared to be? The Galactic Council's response was swift and predictable. Within days, a fleet of diplomatic vessels arrived in the system, each carrying representatives from the major spacefaring races. Commander Zyrax watched from the Stellar Seeker as the impressive ships took up position around the human mining operation. What happened next, however, was anything but predictable. They're requesting permission to dock. Lieutenant Karn reported, confusion evident in his voice. The Council fleet is actually asking the humans for clearance? Of course they are, Vina responded, her scientific detachment giving way to admiration. Look at the gravitational fields around the mining operation. The humans have expanded their quantum grid. Any ship trying to approach without proper guidance would experience unfortunate effects. The human mining operation had evolved in the days since their initial contact. The defensive platforms had multiplied, each one simultaneously processing materials and maintaining the complex quantum field network. The groundbreaker itself had spawned 2 additional mining vessels, demonstrating the operation's ability to self-replicate. Council Representative Thrix, a member of the ancient Valadian race, led the diplomatic delegation. Their first meeting took place in what the humans called their conference center, a section of the station that had apparently assembled itself from processed materials the previous day. "This is unprecedented," Thrix began, their crystalline form glowing with barely contained emotion. "The extraction and processing of QCM has always been under Council jurisdiction." Director Torres sat calmly at the head of the conference table, flanked by holographic displays showing real-time mining operations. "With respect, Representative, there is no such regulation in the Galactic Charter. We've reviewed it thoroughly. The charter was written before QCM was discovered," another council member protested. "Exactly," Torres smiled. "Which means our operation is completely legal. However, we're more than happy to discuss trade agreements that would benefit all parties." What followed was a masterclass in human negotiation. Torres and her team presented detailed plans for QCM distribution, research cooperation, and technology exchange, all carefully structured to maintain human control while offering genuine benefits to the galactic community. "The real question," Torres concluded, "isn't about who controls the QCM. It's about how we can best use it to advance everyone's interests." Zyrax watched as understanding dawned on the council members' faces. The humans hadn't just outmaneuvered them technologically, they'd outmaneuvered them politically as well. The final meeting of the Emergency Council session took place 2 weeks later. The chamber, hastily constructed by the humans' automated systems, hummed with the soft sound of quantum field generators. "The Council recognizes," Thrix announced, their voice carrying the weight of centuries of tradition, "that attempting to force the issue would be unwise." Director Torres nodded respectfully. "We appreciate the Council's perspective. We've prepared a comprehensive proposal for moving forward." The proposal they unveiled was remarkable in its scope. The humans offered to establish joint research facilities, to share their quantum field manipulation technology for non-mining applications, and to establish a fair distribution system for processed QCM. "But the extraction technology remains proprietary," Torres stated firmly. "That's non-negotiable." Zyrax, invited to attend as the first contact officer, found himself admiring the elegant simplicity of the human position. They weren't just protecting their interests, they were reshaping the entire galactic power structure while making it look like a reasonable business arrangement. "There's one thing I don't understand," Vina spoke up from her observer's position. "Why reveal the QCM at all? You could have continued extracting it quietly." Torres's response was characteristically practical, "Because secrets have a way of coming out, and we preferred to control the revelation. Besides, we believe in the benefits of open trade, when properly managed." The implications weren't lost on anyone. The humans had demonstrated they could defend their interests if necessary, but they genuinely preferred peaceful cooperation, on their terms. As the council members signed the various agreements, Nixis approached Zyrax with her final analysis. "Their mining technology isn't just about extraction," she whispered. "Every system they've shown us has at least 3 different applications. They've developed an entirely new technological philosophy." "Not new," Zyrax corrected, watching as Torres exchanged pleasantries with the council members. "Just practical. They don't see technology as specialized tools, they see it as adaptable solutions." The final agreement established a new framework for galactic technology sharing. The humans would maintain control of their QCM extraction operations but would work with other races to develop new applications for their quantum field technology. They had effectively turned a potential conflict into an opportunity for galactic cooperation. As the council fleet prepared to depart, Director Torres approached Zyrax with an unexpected offer. "We're establishing a joint research facility here," she said. "We could use someone with your perspective on the oversight committee." Zyrax studied her for a moment, his crystalline form reflecting the quantum fields that surrounded them. "You planned this from the beginning, didn't you? Not just the mining operation, but all of it." Torres smiled. "Let's just say we believe in being prepared for multiple outcomes. It's the same principle we apply to our technology, always be ready to adapt." As Zyrax watched the human mining operation continue its efficient work, he realized they had all underestimated humanity. They weren't just clever tool makers or resourceful engineers. They were revolutionaries who had mastered the art of making their revolution look like simple practical innovation. What had started as a routine observation of a seemingly primitive mining operation had become a turning point in galactic history. And somehow, the humans had made it all seem inevitable, just another day's work with their remarkably adaptable tools. The quantum fields shimmed around them, simultaneously extracting resources, maintaining defenses, and processing materials. It was no longer just a mining tool or a weapons system or a manufacturing platform. It was all of these things and more, a testament to humanity's unique approach to technology and diplomacy. In the end, they had all learned a crucial lesson: sometimes the simplest tools could reshape the universe, especially in the hands of those practical enough to see their full potential.